Hello, nerds. Thank you for watching Generally Nerdy. This show is your week in nerddom, your twice weekly nerd news show. I got rid of the hippie feeling. I'm a little more clean cut today, so we've got quite the show to jump into. Getting ready for hopefully some good news. Everything sounds like it's gearing up to get unquarantined. We'll get into that and so much more right after this. Jumping out the gate, we've got a little bit of housekeeping as things happen and we're getting going back in the swing of things, and my day job schedule starts to calm down, and then I can pick this schedule back up, but then my big show schedule starts to pick up as well. Schedules are being adjusted and all that jazz, so I do apologize if these episodes get posted a little bit late, depending on which platform you're watching. The last episode just got posted today. So again, I do apologize, but stumbles happen. I try and prioritize the platforms with the largest audiences. So those of you listening on the audio platform, apparently you're getting your episodes on time every time, but everyone else, there might be a little hiccup from time to time. So I do apologize about that. We are still gearing up for all of the local conventions as soon as they make a proper announcement about when they are going to be happening, because I still have yet to see when Denver's Starfest is going to be happening. But that being said, as soon as that happens and we can work that into the schedule as well, then that will happen. Anyway, that's all we have for housekeeping, guys. Let's go right into our first section, which actually in this episode, which is not super normal, this might be our largest. Technically, this is our largest section for the episode. Music is. We have more points, though I bet we spend more time in TV streaming. Anyway, let's do music. First up is Avatar. They are putting the finishing touches on their new record. It's being called Hunter Gatherer. Will be released on August 7th, and they have released the first single for the record. Single is called Silence in the Age of Apes. We will be doing a reaction video to that. That's another schedule that I'm working on getting back in line, is the reaction schedule. The last 2 weeks has just kind of been really wonky with a number of things. So that being said, that's all we have for our first piece. Next, we're talking about Ivan Moody. Not somebody we bring up a whole lot on the channel, though I have talked about Ivan, or at least Five Finger Death Punch recently. From time to time, they come up. And Ivan Moody specifically, who, if you don't know, is the lead singer for Five Finger Death Punch. If you don't like Five Finger Death Punch, definitely go check out Ivan's first band. Well, one of Ivan's first bands, first big band, I guess, was a band called Motograder. There is some stellar new metal on there, some stellar just regular old metal on there as well. So that is definitely a record worth listening to. Five Finger is really not as diverse, I feel like, as Motograder. Motograder was definitely brought more to the table. Anyway, we're rambling about something that's not necessarily important. Ivan is doing a series of videos on the Five Finger Death Punch YouTube channel. And this is actually, I have to give some pretty hardcore props to Ivan for this, because he's learning how to play the guitar in this video series. They're calling it Guitar Zero, Legend of the Fail, which is a little trite, but whatever, it's funny. But this takes a lot of balls. This takes a lot of courage to be so terrible and legitimately try to learn something in front of as big of an audience as they have. So again, my hat's off to Mr. Moody, because that's some courage right there, man. You can go see him do this if you follow the link in the description in a very hilarious fashion. That being said, that is what we have there. Next, we're talking about Slipknot. This is a quickie update. This happened to Rammstein in the last episode, so now it's happening to Slipknot in this episode. A little more entirely, though. Rammstein only canceled Europe. Slipknot is canceling everything this year. That includes the Knotfest cruise, as well as the Knotfest roadshow, and all of their big festival dates. Everything is being canceled, not postponed, canceled, and they will reschedule later in 2021. Next is, we're actually talking slightly about a movie. It's actually a Netflix series, rather. This series is called Clark. The reason we're talking about it in music section is because the score for this is going to be done by Mikael Akerfeldt from Opeth. That's kind of amazing. One of the premier songwriters in heavy music. Mikael Akerfeldt is amazing on that and on so many levels, but specifically on that level. So to hear him score an entire drama series for Netflix, it has me super excited, if you can't already tell. Also associated with this series is going to be Bill Skarsgard, who, if you remember, played It and was in the second Deadpool movie for like 2 seconds. But he will be playing the lead role of what's his name, Clark Olofsson, the Swedish gangster. Apparently somehow Clark Olofsson is related to the term Stockholm syndrome, so maybe it was he was one of the ones that robbed the bank that then, yeah, very interesting man, this Olofsson, and also very interesting players associated in general with Akerfeldt and Skarsgård. And Jonas Åkerlund is going to be the director or the showrunner, I guess, for the series. So just all these great names. One drawback, if you're an English speaker primarily or solely, it's going to be a Swedish series, so you're either going to have to deal with some mediocre dubbing or some reading, which a lot of, I feel like, and this is painting in broad strokes and whatever, we're not going to go there. But yeah, that's kind of exciting on so many levels. I definitely am at least going to watch the first episode or two because it sounds so intriguing. Next, though, we are talking about Anthrax, and in the age of quarantine, everyone is trying to find ways to make money and also connect with their fans. So Anthrax, not being a band to go against that trend, they're very fan interactive and so on. We have the announcement that the boys from Anthrax are going to be conducting classes online. Very specifically, Scott Ian, Frank Bello, Charlie Benante, and Jon Donais will all be doing classes. They will at least be doing tutorials on how to play instruments, so instrument lessons, but also Frank Bello and Scott Ian are going to be doing 20 questions classes, so it'll allow fans to ask them a question. It's kind of like an AMA, but you have to pay for it. But also, they're going to be doing songwriting classes. It is going to be a very interesting slew of things that they are offering, though it is a little expensive. The most expensive of the lot, it seems, are going to be the instrument classes, topping out at $250 for an hour-long class. But, I mean, it's Scott Ian and Jon Donais. So, I mean, and if you don't know John is not always been with Anthrax. He was, for a time, he was also the lead guitar player for Shadows Fall, one of my favorite new wave of American heavy metal bands. So that, I don't know if he's going to be doing any Shadows Fall stuff. Maybe. I mean, he wrote that stuff too. But yeah, so that's what we've got there. Next, we're talking about Serj Tankian, the front man for System of a Down, is going to be releasing a new EP. This new EP is going to be 5 songs long, and all 5 of these songs began their life as potential System of a Down songs. No title or release date has been announced just yet, but it's been something that he's been working on since early 2018, so I would imagine it's very close to being done, and we're only days away from an official announcement. That's all we have on that one. Then we're touching base real quick with Dragonforce. They also are dealing with cancellations, but we've already covered the cancellations. Now they're starting to reschedule. They have 8 of their tour dates rescheduled for 2021. Tour dates start early March of 2021, and again, there are only 8 of them rescheduled so far, but that is very likely to change in the coming days. Our final piece of music news is Matt Pike and Brent Hinds. Now, they have made it very clear that they're working on something together over the last few weeks, and now, or I guess last week, they released a pedal that was a joint effort between the two of them, and everybody assumed that that was the something. Well, that's not necessarily the case. What we are getting is potentially approximately 2 hours of music from these two heavy metal titans. The potential for this duo is amazing. I am so excited to see what comes out of this. Apparently, the record will feature a rotating plethora of other musicians that they are associated with in some way, I'm sure, or just guys that they want to bring in that they know are super talented and they want to collaborate. Either way, still no release date or title or anything for this has been made available just yet either, but we do know it is happening. We do know there is music coming from these two amazing minds. That is all we have for music. Now we're jumping into TV streaming. We have Doom Patrol. Our first announcement for Doom Patrol Season 2 is still on track, set to premiere June 25th. I believe there is a trailer even floating around the internets as well. If possible, I will put the link in the show notes. I didn't see it in my research, but again, between now and when this gets posted, it might be a little bit of time, so I should be able to find it if it exists. That is all we have there. Next is an Arrowverse update. The next big crossover event, or this season, I guess. This season's crossover event inside the Arrowverse is going to be the first crossover event that does not feature The Flash, which is really interesting because at this point, with the Arrow being canceled, finalized, finished, whatever, it's the longest running show in the Arrowverse, but it's not going to be featured. What the crossover event is going to be is the CW's version of The World's Finest. So it's going to be Batwoman and Superman. Those are going to be the two shows that cross over. So Superman and Lois, I guess. It's going to also not happen in December for the first time, I believe, in the Arrowverse. It's actually going to be happening sometime towards the end of the first quarter and the beginning of the second quarter of 2021. The exact dates have not been laid out just yet. I'm sure that is very much still in the planning phase as they're still getting things going on the production side, because we're still under quarantine. But that is all we have for the Arrowverse. Now let's talk a little bit more about Superman and Lois. We did also get a premiere announcement for that series, so we at least know when it's going to start. The first episodes are going to premiere in January of 2021, and it will be a Tuesday night show on the CW. And then staying with the CW, we're talking now about Supernatural. The final 7 episodes finally have some sort of concrete release. We do know that the final 2 episodes of the series have yet to be filmed. So once quarantines are lifted, they will have to go back into production and primary photography for the final 2 episodes, but the final 7 episodes will begin airing this fall. I believe one of my sources said October, but nobody else had that, so I would believe that it will be somewhere close to October, because that makes sense considering the source material, but until we get an official announcement from the CW, we won't know for certain. That's all we have on that one. Now we're talking about the Vampire Chronicles. That's right, Anne Rice's Vampire Chronicles series that we have been keeping tabs on. It was originally supposed to go to the Paramount Network. It lost its footing at the Paramount Network and then got picked up by Hulu. And then Hulu didn't do anything with it. And now it has finally found, potentially finally found a home at AMC. Just because AMC does own the rights for it does not necessarily mean we're going to see it on AMC, but AMC seems like a very good home for this show. The studio picked up also Lives of the Mayfair Witches, which is another Anne Rice series, which between the two of them, there's like 20 books worth of material. So it should be plenty there for AMC to mine, though who knows if they're going to stick close to the source material. A good sign on that side of things, though, is that it seems that Anne Rice and her son Christopher are both securing executive producer credits on the show. So they're going to be there, part of the production, which should keep things in line to the lore and mythology that we all know and love with Anne Rice's Vampire Chronicles. So that's Pretty freaking awesome. Now we're moving back over to the CW. Man, there's just so much CW going on. CW Seed, remember we talked previously about the fact that CW Seed is now doing original programming that is not going to CW proper. Specifically, we're talking about Deathstroke animated series. Well, that first season apparently did better than anticipated, and in that spirit, they're now looking at licensing more DC properties to animate over on the Seed. If you don't know, CW Seed is a free streaming app, so you can go over to cwseed.com and just watch anything they have up there for free. I believe there's still commercials. It's been a little while since I've watched it, so I don't remember, but either way, it's free. So if you have to sit through like 30 seconds of a commercial, then it's whatever. It's free programming, and that Deathstroke series was not bad. It was very not for kids, but it wasn't bad either way. And then our final piece of TV streaming is a new science fiction documentary series. It's called In Search of Tomorrow, and it's being billed as the most comprehensive retrospective of the 80s sci-fi movie genre ever made. And it will offer viewers a chance to immerse yourself in the world and mythos of 80s science fiction, unquote. So that's what it's being billed as. It is a GoFundMe or a Kickstarter. I can't remember. I'll get the link. You can go put some money into it and then it's approximately, what did they say, 8 hours worth of information on specifically 80s science fiction. And another notable piece about this is it's going to somehow feature vocalist Corey Taylor from the band Slipknot and Stone Sour. This just sounds like such a crazy, interesting property. I wasn't sure, because they didn't let it be known if the footage or the material that they're going to be releasing was going to be episodic or if it was just going to be one giant documentary. I assumed, because of the amount of time that they said that they were going to be releasing, the 8 hours or whatever, I assumed that meant it was going to be episodic, which is why we're talking about it in TV streaming, but it very well could be released all as one chunk, which would make it a documentary movie, a crazy long documentary movie, but a documentary movie nonetheless. So, yeah, take with that what you will. Now let's talk movies. Movies is really, really quick. We only have two pieces. First is an update for New Mutants. We finally got the proper release date from Disney. If you remember when we talked about those release dates that they released before, releasing release dates so many times to say release. When they released the last update for their new release dates for their movies, New Mutants was nowhere to be seen. And then we got that Amazon Prime update that said, well, it's going to be on VOD. And then we got the announcement from Disney saying, no, we're going to put it in theaters. And so everybody's like, I don't know what's going on. It's coming out August 28th in theaters, assuming theaters are still open at that point, and no VOD officially announced. So it will be a theater-only release. Thank you, Disney. Then our only other piece in movies is actually just a tease. Movie we've been keeping track of every step of the way, Metal Gear Solid, because yes, please. Metal Gear Solid director John Vogt-Roberts has just kept teasing us, and over the last 2 days has released a bunch of concept art. If you follow the link in the description, there is a bunch of really awesome, super, super exciting concept art for his movie that just makes it look like they really understand the scope that this movie needs to have. That's the word I was looking for. So yeah, that's all we have for movies. Let's talk real quick about gaming. Fallout 76 fence riders. I am one of them. There are another few more days that you can play the game for free. They just announced yesterday, as I'm filming this, that you will be able to play Fallout 76 for free until May 18th. So just a couple more days. We've got 3 more days as I'm filming. And it was a quarantine gift. I wish it was going longer because I don't know if I'm going to have any time to play Fallout 76 between now and then, but who knows? Keep an eye over on the stream, mixer.com/nerdy. But yeah, that's May 18th is probably going to come far too soon. Next, though, we're talking about really an announcement that was made the day I went to film last time after the day I went to edit, I guess. It was after I was done filming, and while I was editing last episode, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, the rumors that we've been talking about for weeks at this point, has just officially been announced, and they are releasing Game 1 and Game 2 in one package together. I don't know exactly how they're going to cross the two of them, but it is going to be both games. If you have to load one game to play it, and then load the second game to play it, or if somehow they're going to mesh the two together, was not certain. But either way, the graphical updates that they've been making on this look incredible. I am so excited to get this game. So much nostalgia right there. Those first two games are crazy. September 4th is the official announcement for the release of it. So put your pre-orders in as soon as they open. They might honestly be open already. I just didn't see a link for them. Next, we're talking about Paper Mario. The next installment in the franchise is called Origami King. It got announced. The release date is going to be July 17th. Pre-orders for that one are open. And then our final piece in gaming is next-gen graphic update. So everyone's kind of been postulating and guessing and speculating and doing all of this really theoretical work on what is the next generation going to look like. Well, Unreal just released a tech demo on presumably on a PlayStation 5 dev kit. And if you follow the link in the description, you can see how incredible the next generation is going to look. And presumably both PS5 and Xbox Series X will be somewhere in the same neighborhood as far as graphical ability. So that's just super exciting. Next, we're talking comic books and books. We don't have any book news, but we do have comic book news, and both of them actually have to do with the Joker. James Tynion IV's new arc, Joker War, has been confirmed to be starting July 2nd. Jorge Jimenez is the artist for the project, and he is the one that confirmed the release date. So Joker War starts July 2nd. Yes, please sign me up. Then the other piece of Joker news is the Three Jokers finally got a release date, and that release date is August 25th. If you have not seen the teaser pages just yet, you must go look at them. Jason Fabok's art is amazing. That is all we have for comics, though. So let's talk rumors. Rumors, we only have two rumors to talk about. First is an Annihilation rumor. Annihilation is now being rumored to heavily feature, assuming this movie is coming to the MCU, is going to heavily feature Nova and Adam Warlock, presumably in lead roles for the story. It's going to be a quasi-adaptation of the 2005-2006 storyline in the comic books of the same name, and it is assumed to be something of a cosmic Marvel team-up, because all of the rumors, again, if they are to be believed, say that Fantastic Four, Captain Marvel, Quasar, and Moondragon are all going to be part of this story to some degree as well. And the villains of this story, yes, I said villains multiple, are going to be Annihilus, Galactus, and Terrax. All cosmic villains. Sounds like a lot of ground to cover in a presumably 2 hours to 2.5 hours in length movie. I hope that, and also the rumors are saying that this is not going to be the first time we're going to be seeing any of these characters. Maybe some of the villains, but not any of the heroes. So we're going to be introduced to these heroes long before we get this movie, but that sounds like a lot of fun. And then our final rumor has to do with the freaking Snyder Cut one more time. Rumor has it that, and this is actually a new rumor that's saying something that we heard about a month and a half ago, but there is a new rumor saying that HBO Max, when they launch in 2 weeks, they're going to also launch with the streaming platform a teaser trailer for the Snyder Cut. So if it exists, if it's going to happen, we will know in 2 weeks, according to this rumor. But that's all we got for rumors, guys. And that's all we got for the episode. So what did I miss? What should we talk about in the next one? I'm gonna dig a little bit harder on the rumor mill next time, because I feel like I'm letting some stuff slip by, that I'm just too much in a hurry to get the news. I'm not as focused on the rumors like I usually am. So that's going to happen. But what do you want to talk about in the next one? Let's have that conversation in the comments down low. If, though, you want to go even deeper into the conversation, jump over to the website, generallynerdy.net. That is the place that you can see everything that isn't up on the YouTube, and that is also still free. Or if you want to support the channel, there's even more content. You can go over to patreon.com/generallynerdy and see all of the stuff behind the paywall. Just $1 a month gets you all of the back catalogs and a little bit more. So that's worth it just in and of itself. And that dollar helps a lot. So check it out. Again, patreon.com/generallynerdy. While you're here, though, don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell so you know when I post the new episodes. You can click one of the two boxes down below me. If you're falling behind in your nerd news and you want to catch up, then that's what those are there for. And also to see other stuff going on the channel. That's everything, though, guys. Thank you for watching again. And before we go, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.